My mom took way too much Tylenol when she was pregnant with me, and now my home office looks like this. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Alex, and today we are going to be talking about something that is very near and dear to my little spooky, creepy heart, and that is Universal monster movies. From an early age, I was obsessed with Universal monster movies. Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, and we can't forget the goat. The wolf. The Wolf Man. These little freaks have given me so much happiness over the years. The unsettling gothic vibes, the practical effects that look too real for what they are, the tragedy of their stories, and the way they explore humanity through the lens of spooky little weirdos. Thank God I found these dudes instead of Sonic the Hedgehog. That's pretty much all I can say. Because now I get to make a video like this and talk about why Universal monsters are dope. I'm just gonna rant about a few of my favorites, talk about what makes them so iconic and classic, the kind of lasting impact they've had on society as a whole. And I'm going to start off with Dracula. Dracula is dope because he's the OG. That's a sentence that I wrote for this, and it's not the way I talk, but that's what I wrote for this, and so that's what I'm saying. Dracula is the vampire, and 1931's Dracula starring Bela Lugosi is the vampire movie, okay? Sure, there were other vampire movies that came out before this one, most notably 1922's Nosferatu, and while that movie in particular might have had a little bit of a resurgence recently thanks to a super good remake, it still doesn't hold a candle to 1931's Dracula. Every single girl out there wants a sexy vampire boyfriend, and thanks to Anne Rice, a lot of the boys do too. But you wouldn't have that little sexy vampire boyfriend if it wasn't for Bela Lugosi's portrayal of Dracula. He came on screen with that mysterious little accent of his, sneaking in some cutie's room, and bam! Now you are all Team Edward for life. Don't lie to me. Dracula also popularized the kind of look and vibe of a vampire so hard that every single fucking Halloween costume you see, every impression somebody does of Dracula or of a vampire or whatever, it's all Bela Lugosi. Every fucking time. Even if they haven't seen the movie directly, everybody does the Hungarian accent, everybody slicks their hair back, everybody wears the cape, it's all Bela Lugosi from this fucking movie. That's how iconic it is, dude. The absolute chokehold that this movie has had on vampire media since it came out is so strong that it would force Corpse Grinder to fucking tap out, dude. And that dude's got a crazy neck. And while this version of Dracula might not be that accurate to the book, it is definitely the most accurate version of what Dracula and a vampire is in the eyes of society today. So go watch fucking Dracula or else, dude. After Dracula, my boy Frankie got that adaptation, and it's dope. Alright, you can't even say the word Frankenstein. I'm not talking Frankenstein's monster. I'm just talking Frankenstein without an image of a big square head, green skin, bolts on the neck, whatever. That's coming in your brain. That's coming in everyone else's brain. That's who Frankenstein is, and it's because 1931's Frankenstein was so fucking good. And he was so iconic in that no matter how many times Frankenstein has been remade, rebooted, reimagined, whatever, everyone either complains that the monster is not enough like Karloff's version, or it's too much like Karloff's version. Nobody is happy unless it's Karloff's version. That's it. That's Frankenstein's monster. That's what people want to see. And even though Mary Shelley's depiction of what the monster was supposed to look like in the book is so far away from what they did in this movie, so far away from what Jack Pierce created with that makeup, That doesn't matter. Nobody gives a fuck about Shelley's version of Frankenstein. Everybody wants to see some big-ass freak with big-ass shoes and fucking stitches on his face and the electricity and all that shit that they just made up for this fucking movie. There was one version of Frankenstein done before this movie came out, and that was done in 1910 by fucking Thomas Edison, of all people. Ugh. But if you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's definitely worth a watch, and it's super cool if you're really into like monster movies and horror stuff and whatever in general, because like I was saying, Karloff's version of Frankenstein is so iconic that it's pretty much like kind of dominated every version of the monster that's come out since. And if you go back and watch this version, since it was done before that, that's like the only chance you guys are going to get to see like what the general public's idea of Frankenstein was like before Universal made that movie, right? I highly recommend you watch that one, and definitely watch the one that I'm like ranting about the most. Watch Frankenstein 1931. You guys are going to love it. I fucking swear to God, it's one of the greatest horror movies ever made. It's so good. Go give it a watch. And while there's a ton of other monsters that I could get into between Frankenstein and the next one I'm going to talk about, I don't give a shit. I'm just going to talk about my favorite movie of all time, The Wolfman. And yeah, I'm going to fucking go crazy about it. I don't give a shit. I've talked about The Wolfman before on my channel. I'm going to talk about him again. I'm going to wear a shirt with his fucking face on it. You can't stop me from doing this. You're not my mom, and even if you are, you couldn't untake all that fucking Tylenol you took. This is your fault. I'm going to talk about my favorite movie now, so shut up. Universal Pictures' 1941 classic The Wolfman is the greatest movie of all time, and that is not up for debate. That is not a matter of opinion. That is fucking fact, and that's all you gotta know, okay? That and everything I'm about to tell you about it. That movie has fucking everything. A tragic lead character who is destined for nothing but heartbreak and death after a curse is forced upon him in a moment of heroism. A girl who wants to cheat on her man with the foreigner who isn't really foreign. The little dad, and most important of all, cool poetry about the moon and shit. But if we're just being real, The Wolfman speaks to me on like a ton of different levels. The monster itself is so iconic looking that you can show anyone a picture of the Wolfman and they know who the fuck that is, even if they haven't seen the movie, right? And everything about the lore of werewolves that we have today, like silver bullets, the full moon, all that shit, that is all thanks to the fucking Wolfman. 99% of all werewolf movies that have come out since 1941 have just stolen the lore from the Wolfman and shoved it into their worst version of the story. But the story itself is definitely what I love the most about the Wolfman. I really love the design and the makeup, but God, the story is just so fucking good, guys, and I'm gonna talk about it a little bit right now, okay? So buckle up, bucko. Buckle up, bucko. For those of you who aren't in the know, here's the Cliff Notes, all right? So The Wolfman is about Larry Talbot, a man who comes home to Wales after decades away in America, following the death of his brother. He's trying to like reconnect with his dad and reconnect with the people in the town that he once called home, but they no longer see him as part of their culture or their society or whatever. He's kind of this foreign outsider guy, right? He doesn't really fit in, even if he's from there. Everyone sees him as different. And then he's just playing a little I Spy around the city with his dad's telescope and finds a cutie patootie working next door. He invites her and her bestie out for a night at the Romani Carnival to, I don't know, have their fortunes read or dance or... But when the cutie patootie's best friend is attacked by none other than Bela Lugosi as a werewolf, Larry, he rushes over to try to save her, and she unfortunately dies, and he is now cursed to transform every night into this werewolf and kill other people, and he hates it, and he wants forever sleep, and it's tragic, and it's sad, and it's really fucking good. So, yeah, I want you all to go watch it, like, right now. And also watch the 2010 Benicio del Toro remake. It's good. It's not great. There's some stuff I don't really like about it, but there is kind of some cool stuff that they added to the story that kind of pays homage to Werewolf of London, which was Universal's first werewolf movie, that has been so overshadowed by the Wolfman that I would not be shocked if almost every single person watching this video is like, don't you mean an American Werewolf in London? And no, I'm talking about Werewolf of London. That's a totally different movie, and you guys should check that one out also. There was also a remake of the Wolfman done earlier this year, 2025. I did a little review on that. If you want to watch that, check the link in the description below. There is a plethora of other Universal monster movies that I highly recommend you guys go check out. Some notable ones that I really love are The Bride of Frankenstein. That one is probably the best sequel out of any of the movies. It might even be better than Frankenstein itself, but definitely watch Frankenstein and The Bride of Frankenstein so you get kind of the whole picture. Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman is also a sequel I highly recommend. And for you little Marvel dudes out there who like your interconnected little movie universes and whatever, that was the first movie. Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman is the first movie ever to do a shared universe crossover thing. So go watch that movie. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. I also really recommend Creature from the Black Lagoon. That was kind of the last entry to the Universal Monsters series before Universal kind of moved on to other stuff and the golden age kind of ended. Super good. The underwater shots are unbelievable. Super cool looking. Really fucking love that movie. Also, like I said, Werewolf of London. That is a great movie. Very underrated. You know, even though it's not as good as The Wolfman in a lot of ways, it's very iconic in its own right, I think, and it's definitely worth the watch. The Mummy, of course, super iconic. Boris Karloff again. He looks great in that movie. They did, you know, a few different reboots of that also over the years. Some really, really good. Some really, really shitty. That's also one that I highly recommend. Fuck, The Invisible Man, dude. Go watch The Invisible Man. That's like top 5 Universal monster movies of all time, probably. That movie is so good. Claude Rains goes fucking hard in that movie. Also, go, if you want like a fun, silly time watching one of these movies, go watch Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. That movie is so fucking funny. Like, that's probably my favorite Abbott and Costello movie. I might be a little biased because I love the Universal monsters, but like that movie is so funny, and it's so cool to see Lon Chaney Jr. back as the Wolfman and Bela Lugosi making his second and final appearance as Dracula. I love that fucking movie. If you like funny movies and you want to see some of these monsters in action, go check that one out. I'm just fucking ranting. Go watch these movies. Go watch them. They're so fucking good, dude. I love these movies. But if you guys do like videos where I talk about scary movies, or like if you want me to do more in-depth breakdowns of some of the specific movies, or go into more detail on some of the ones that I just kind of mentioned in that little word vomit I did, leave a comment below. Let me know what movies you want to hear me talk about more. If you want me to do like a big long video about just Dracula or just Frankenstein or just the Wolfman or the Mummy or whoever, I would be happy to kind of do whatever you guys are interested in. And if you guys like this video, please like it and consider subscribing. I am really appreciative of all the support that my videos have been getting lately from you guys, and it means the world to me. It really does help my channel get seen by the algorithm, and it also helps kind of motivate me to keep making content. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And also Dubby. Yeah, Dubby. But Dubby's super cool. It's an energy drink powder that you just mix with water, or in my case, sparkling water, because I'm a little fancy that way. And it is not only cheaper than all of the canned stuff like Red Bull or Monster or whatever, but it's also way better. It doesn't make you feel jittery and shitty after, but there's no crash, there's no jitters. I recently have been obsessed with this yuzu flavor. This drink tastes straight up like lemonade. I cannot get enough of it. And if you guys want to try Dubby for yourself, I have a link in the description below, or you can just go to dubby.gg and use coupon code POOPOOPP for 10% off your entire order. That's dubby.gg, coupon code POOPOOPP, or click the link in the description below. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for letting me just come on here and rant and talk about how much I love these little freaky guys. And if you guys want more of this, let me know. Until next time, go watch the fucking Wolfman, dude. Get the fuck out of here and go watch any of these. I love you. Happy Halloween.